by Krayzie Bone of legendary Bones, Thugs and Harmony. Krayzie Bone, first order of business for anybody outside your immediate fan base. You had a big announcement recently regarding your solo project. What was that announcement for anyone who missed it?
Well, man, it was basically the announcement of this album that I've been working on, Chasing the Devil, has been long anticipated by all the fans, by the club fans. And I just announced that it's just going to be a double CD. I'm going to release the first CD for free, digital download. You know what I'm saying? Like just to give something back to the fans. I actually forgot to mention that it was going to be a double CD when I made the announcement, so I'm clearing that up now so everybody knows that it's going to be a double CD, and the first CD is going to be released free digitally. But however, I am going to have the whole double CD album available for physical purchase if people would like to do so.
Oh, okay. So that clears a lot of things up because people for their collections and whatnot. So, in terms of the release date, what's the release date for first off the digital download and then the hard copy with the total package?
Well, the first date should be going to be November 20th for the digital download, and we're still working on a release date for the second one and the hard copy, which the full set hard copy of the album is going to include it's going to be a massive package with DVD, T-shirts, hats, like all kind of stuff. I'm giving with the package, so it's going to be a nice collector's item.
Mm-hmm. Now, so I mean, you obviously put a lot of thought in this. You're not just throwing a project out there. There's many multifaceted, many layers to this. Why did you decide for the double album and to kind of go this route in terms of the way you're releasing it?
Well, because, man, for one, I wanted to give something back to the fans, especially all the hardcore fans that's really been following us, like, the whole time we've been out. We have, like, a very strong core fan base that's been following us, that's been with us thick and thin, through all the breakups and makeups and, to get back together, and, they've been around the whole time. So it's like, I felt, like, to show my appreciation for all the love that they've shown us, that I had to give something back to them, you know what I'm saying? Like, give something, and I think a lot of artists have, like, really taken into consideration of doing that because, I think artists get it twisted sometimes, and artists don't realize that it's not the record label or the A&R or the person at the record label that discovers you. It's the fans that discover. Because if you don't have a fan, a record executive is not going to, it ain't nothing they can do with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's basically like the fans that discover and break an artist, and that's just my way of, like showing the appreciation. Now, the reason I wanted to do a double CD is because I'm sitting on so much material, and I've been working on this album for so long. It's, I just accumulated like so many songs, and just to make the album complete. I feel like it wouldn't be complete if the whole story wouldn't be told if I just came out with just like 10, 11 songs. You know what I'm saying? Like the labels want you to do. Because now it's all about money with the label. They don't want you to put more than 11 songs on an album because of publishing issues and money issues and all this kind of stuff. So it's like I'm stepping outside the box with all that. I'm tired of labels telling me what I can and what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing music because I love it, and I'm sure the fans would appreciate more music. The fans don't get into all that, doing it because of publishing reasons and stuff like that. They want to hear music. They're music lovers, just like myself. So it's like I'm skipping all the politics on his album and doing it the untraditional way, like for the simple fact I love music. And I think Chasing the Devil would be great if I just go ahead and do it the way I want to do it, you know what I'm saying? And that's with more music.
Mm-hmm. Now, are you doing this completely independent now? Is that what I'm gathering? And you're leaving that business side out of it? Because there's also, making sure that your quality music gets out to as many people as possible. So on the business end, without giving up too many details, how you kind of going about releasing this album?
Well, the most I want to say on the business end is I'm going non-traditional. It's not going to be like the regular, you know, Sony records or record label like that. I have many different brands, you know, like huge brands that are interested in partnering up with me, like for the release of this album. But you know, like music is going in like so many different directions. You know, like you can do all kind of things with it. Like, you know, just to name a few people. It's not that we just want to run with, but like nowadays you can go do a music deal with Nike or Yahoo. You know what I'm saying? And you know, like it's because everybody is getting into music now, so it's like those are all untraditional ways, non-traditional ways, routes that a person can go, and it's something that I've been introduced to some of my business associates. You know, like I said, we had like several partners of that stature, you know, like interested in partnering up to the now. So that may be the route I go, something non-traditional.
Mm-hmm. Now, in the past, I mean, you guys came out in '94, so in the past the business model was always platinum awards, that kind of stuff. When you look at Chasing the Devil, where you're at in the rap game, ultimately, how do you gauge personally whether or not this album is a success or not?
Man, from the fans' response, I don't look to like you know what people in the industry say. So like to me, people that are in the industry are lost. You know, they don't know which way is up. You know what I'm saying? They're even the big major labels are trying to play catch up to the game that they've created, because it's like it's almost out of their hands as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I go by what the fans say. If the fans love it, then the album was a success. I don't care about winning awards. I mean, I've done all that. That really doesn't prove anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about the music. If you can connect with the consumer emotionally, and people really take something from your album, a message, and they can really feel it, and it really like touches them deep in the soul. Mm-hmm. That's how I measure the success of the album.
Now, I mean, we've said that I've interviewed you a bunch of times, and I've always posed this question to you, but now, especially with you, because you've evolved a lot differently than some of your group mates in terms of, you know, the content of your music and whatnot, and you've talked about it before, and you've always had that catch-22 of you have a certain part of your fan base who likes Mo Murder stuff and this and that. How would you describe this upcoming album in terms of content if you had to compare it to something you've done? I know you never paint the same picture twice, but if you had to kind of, just to give people a sneak peek in terms of, how would you describe this album in terms of sound?
Man, I would say it's like a thug mentality on steroids. you know what I'm saying? Like, because I mixed it up, you know, and the point, you know, I'm coming from a point of view of like, you know, like where my mind is, like from the inside of my mind, you know, like dealing with stuff that I deal with in the industry. Yeah, of course I wake up sometimes and I feel like going to get the NK and just spraying everybody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I talk about that on the album. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, then there's those laid back songs. You know what I'm saying? Like the original Bone sound. Then it's, you know, I'm doing the quick flow on a lot of songs on this album, and then there's the songs where I have like the real serious core messages with the spiritual tone and, you know, just everything. And you know, I'm giving everybody like a piece of my last 20 years in the business.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you had to say, like, and I know we've had this conversation before, and now you've knocked out, like you said, you're doing this non-traditional. You don't have the record label. There's not all the bullshit. You know, in terms of standing behind this project, do you think this is your best solo project, and if so, why?
Man, I say I feel like it's some of my best work. Because I know, because you know, like every day, you know, every day I go in the studio, I get better and better. You know what I'm saying? Like, so this is some of my best. This is some of my best work. You know what I'm saying? And I stand behind it 100% and saying that I think it's going to be a very good album, and I really think the fans are going to appreciate it and love the music and love the music selections and love the content. You know, I think they want to really get into it.
Mm-hmm. Now, when people heard you were giving it away for free, they misunderstood and thought the entire project was being given away for free, and they kind of came to the conclusion that, you know, maybe Krayzie was just fed up and this is kind of nearing the end. In terms of where you're at as an artist, where are you at? Are we getting closer to where you kind of maybe are going to scale back on what you release music-wise, or where are we at in Krayzie Bone's career?
Yeah, man, definitely. You know, I'm definitely getting into the point where I want to start, start like really focusing on other things that I wanted to do ever since I've gotten to the music business, and that's what set up other artists. You know, and I think the reason why I haven't been successful in doing that is because when you're an artist, when you're still trying to be an artist yourself, it's hard to separate your career and another person's and an up-and-coming artist's career, because the up-and-coming artist's career really needs all of your attention. Mm-hmm. If that's something you're going to focus on, you know, that artist needs all of your attention, needs all of, you know, that it needs all the attention that they can get, you know, and when you're trying to be an artist, you know what I'm saying, like, there's so many things that you, like, have to do. Your concentration is not there. So now, you know, I think I want to fall back, you know what I'm saying? Like, people misunderstand, like, I may not release any more solo albums, but I'm definitely going to, like, have songs that come out here and there, whether it's just singles or, you know, like, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to be very much active in the music business, you know, but it's going to mostly be on the scale of behind the scenes and getting more into the business side of the music, you know. You know, I have ideas with films and TV shows that I've written and movie scripts that I've written, you know, that I really want to concentrate on as well, you know. So it's like I'm just like trying to embark on different endeavors within the music business with the name and the reputation and the clientele that I have, that I've accumulated over the past 20 years of my career. So I'm just going to start putting some of those relationships to use, man, and just start like getting more into the business of everything and just start expanding a little more.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of longtime fans might hear that, and I mean, in the past, there's been situations where, you know, with the Ghetto Cowboy movie, and certain things didn't come to fruition in terms of stuff you wanted to do. Do you think you're at a point now where it's more likely to happen because you're in a better place, or why should fans, you know, take it to the bank that, you know, this time around that these things are going to happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, because before, it was like I said before, I was so into music. You know, like, music was my first love, so I was so into music. Like, I could easily get distracted when music came up. You know, I could be working on a project over here, working on doing this, but when it was time to do music, that just took my whole focus. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I would put anything down for music because, like, that's what I love doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it was at the time. But now, I'm at a point to where, like, you know, I'm ready to fall back a bit, you know, and like just get into other things.
Mm-hmm. Now, and that's a good segue, because part of your story, and I don't want to call it a curse, but it is kind of in some ways a blessing and a curse, that your entire story and the reason you have your fan base is tied to 4 other guys, which is Bone Thugs and Harmony. Now, the last time we spoke, I can't remember a time where things were in a worse situation with the group. Where are you guys at now in terms of Bone?
Well, man, basically, I mean, personally, we're all, you know, we're all cool. Everything is very calm right now. As far as personally, everybody's been speaking to each other. You know, we're gearing up to do the Rock the Bells coming up soon, so we've been talking more and more these past few months. I was actually in the studio with Flex